Alrighty. All you.
Hello, everyone. We're back.
Yes, we are. We're in another game. So I know some people were wondering. There were answers being thrown around, but it does sound like it is going to be best of ones until the final. So you got to put everything on the line. You can't hide strats and whatnot. If you think you're gonna lose, you just got to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, just all in it. We don't have to worry about that best of three strategy. Or alternatively, just cheese it really hard. They won't be able to
Every
beat your
game.
strategy because they can't. They won't know, and then they'll lose, and then they won't have to play you anymore.
I mean, hey man, I'm a big fan of cheeses in any game. You got to do what you got to do to win, right? People say like sometimes you're cheap or whatever, but I respect the W.
Put down the proxy pylon, Chobra. Would you just
That's
not?
right.
You played Protoss, didn't you?
In Brood War, I did actually. I actually only played Terran in StarCraft 2 so far. Not
Uh-oh.
sure what I'm gonna land with on Legacy of the Void.
You guys hear that? That's so far. That means there's still time for it to happen. Looking at the bans here, I'm very happy to see Fiora getting kicked right out. I don't know who made the changes to her whenever they got made, but I don't like them very much. She is so... I have opinions. I don't want to rant, but I have opinions about what they did with Fiora. She is a great champion now.
She is very strong. She is quite the expert fencer, as her lore would like to say. Um, but hey, Illaoi got through, so we'll get to see her in action. That's pretty exciting, maybe for our end, maybe not so much on the other side. But aside from that, Wukong Maokai classics too. I mean, just a lot of AoE, bruiser-ish, tank-ish, CC combined damage jumbo bundles.
I like seeing Tom Kench kicked out again. That's a nice thing to see. I'll actually be a little disappointed, I think, if he doesn't make it through any games. But I'm get out, Tom Kench. No, you're not. You're not fair. However, things that aren't banned, Illaoi is going to make it into a game, and oh, am I excited to see this! Kraken Priestess is boss mode on this map, and I love every moment of it. And she needs a dunk skin because she has that jump where she just whacks him with the ball, and like needs
Oh
the
yeah,
basketball skin absolutely.
yeah, you're right. She's got to join that little series. Which I thought that was a neat little thing how we now have like quite a few different series of skins. We've got the Pentakill ones, we got the Demacian ones and whatnot. So
Project
that's pretty cool.
Project skins, whoever
Yeah, the
made
project
that.
skins. Yeah, those were really slick. I think I bought 3 of them.
Hey, I want to actually go on a short tangent, which hopefully is short. Riot's art and music teams have gotten consistently and noticeably better ever since this game launched. And the way that they constantly update the champion splash arts and in-game models, and the way they've been doing the music, especially with DJ Sona when that came out, and the sort of collaborative
Yeah.
projects they did with those other artists. Riot's art and music people are absolutely fantastic. I wish they were in so many more games than they are, and I just love them to pieces. Good job, guys. Really fantastic. That's
Fizz,
my tangent
meanwhile,
about that.
Fizz does come out, and then the Yi coming out from Duelpower. How do you feel about Yi these days?
I feel like he makes me angry when he attacks me. Is that a normal reaction to have to Master Yi? Because I feel like that is. The sound of old Alpha Strike will forever haunt me when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah,
He's a good character. He sticks pretty well because of the way Highlander works. He does a lot of damage. If you time his meditate right, he can be resistant to the damage that is intended to kill him, and he'll live with just
right.
enough left over to disappear out from under you in an Alpha Strike and then kill you.
Yeah, it's always so annoying because it's never like I would almost prefer it if Meditate just gave him like 600 health. But it's just there to taunt you, right? For the next 3 seconds. It's just like, oh, you think I'm gonna die. You think I'm dying, but I'm not. I'm really not. And then you're just waiting for your cooldowns.
His lack of any crowd control at all is mostly his downfall, and he's really vulnerable to attack speed slows, except for the whole Highlander bit. You have to watch out for that. It feels like he's really dependent on when he has Highlander up versus when he doesn't have Highlander up. And you kind of have to play around that, because if not, really vulnerable to CC, and we'll get kited into oblivion. But Highlander, when he has it, he's the best. When you catch him without it, or you get, especially if you get to bait out the Highlander with something, then he just feels so sad.
And then we got the Malzahar. The Malzahar coming out. I remember the days when it was simple because all the strong champions were purple. Do you remember those days? They were literally all purple. Now we've got little different things like Fizz being a little blue. Illaoi's got that brownish yellowish tone with the golden locks. But Malzahar, of course, has always been pretty well touted. And the Brand. I had completely forgotten about Brand. Metalfenrir bringing that back for me. Appreciate
Speaking of Metalfenrir, I want to introduce the two teams that we have here. This is going to be Team Bean on the left versus Amputease. And for those of you who are maybe new to Dominion, new to the show, longtime people that may have forgotten, I'm scowling at you when I say that, is that Amputease is a team that has a long-standing competitive history of top 4 finishes in Dominion competition. They have been around for quite a long time, and this is their lineup. A lot of players have come back to get a team into the tournament, but Amputease with their actual, like, one of their original lineups is really refreshing to see. And I'm both optimistic and what's the word? I'm both, like, optimistic about seeing really good gameplay, but at the same time, like, who's really rusty? And do I get to see them be rusty on camera? There's a little bit of that here, too. Good comps from both sides, too, as well. You have Mao, Ali over there, and you have Quinn, Yi, both serve similar roles to each other. Fizz, Morg, similar roles to each other. The big difference here is one side has a Wukong, and the other side has either a Mao or a Malz or an Illaoi. There's no AD Bruiser on Team Bean's team. Well, they have another AP champion. They have more of an AP Bruiser in the sense of Illaoi. We'll see if that difference comes into play throughout the game or not. I kind of wish I knew going into this who's going to go bottom lane. If I remember correctly, it's Metalfenrir tends to be their bot laner, and that would put Brand in the bottom. And versus Illaoi or Malz, if it's Mal's bot, then it's a pretty fair matchup. If it's Illaoi bot, I'm scared for Brand's health.
Isn't Illaoi technically like 80 tank physical bruiser? That's what I thought. Because I remember thinking she was AP, and then I played her, and I was like, oh, maybe she's not.
Well, she does magic damage, though, doesn't she? I thought the tentacles did magic damage. I could be wrong.
No, well, the tentacles might, but I think two of her skills. I can actually look it up right now.
Oh, you can't mouse over skills in the click thing anymore. What? Who changed that?
Yeah, that's actually something that I do have a qualm with.
What is that? Why? Why can't I do that?
Tentacles do physical damage too.
Oh, it is physical damage.
Correctly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so she could kind of try to fill that role.
Okay, so Illaoi is Wukong, guys. I told you I hadn't played in a while. I was really hoping to get through this cast without it being super apparent, but I just slipped on that banana peel and fell over.
It's cool. I mean, Illaoi's not like she's not even seen that much in like regular games, like when you just play. It's not even about competitive. It's not about LCS. It's not about Dominion. Just overall, she's not seen that much. So
I don't know why. She's so strong. Maybe it's because this is a smaller map, and it's easier to be around your tentacles than it is on Summoner's Rift, where there's these big, wide paths of distance that you need to travel through in order to make use of them. But she is a monster on here, and the sound effects for those tentacles hitting are so satisfying, and whoever made them did a really good job. This is the first thing I noticed about her. I was like, wow, she sounds strong. And it's nice to have that mix of, hey, this champion is... this champion feels good to play, and it has the aesthetic of sounding good also. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I noticed about her in particular, but it stood out.
Yeah, I mean, I think also the thing about her tentacles is, like, since they spawn on the walls, obviously there are many more walls just everywhere in Dominion. Like wherever you are, you're next to a wall. You're never not going to be next to a wall, except for maybe when you're channeling your Storm Shield. So
rip old Poppy.
So that makes her significantly stronger, I think, actually, on the Crystal Scar than more so than on the Rift. But we'll find out. We'll find out if it happens. No Garrison also on Bean's side.
Yeah. Let's introduce these teams real quick here. On the left side, we're going to have Team Bean. On the right side, we're going to have Amputease. On Team Bean's team, we have Panderz playing as Quinn. Not to be confused with Panzers. Watch me screw that up during this game.
Oh.
Josh is Legend playing as Illaoi. Khazir playing as Alistar. Alva playing as Morgana. And WETSHEETS playing as Malzahar. I am one half of your commentators. I am Gandair. And casting with me is...
It's Chobra here, and on the other side, on the red side of the Crystal Scar, it will be Amputease, like you said, with Genolicious playing Fizz, StroganMcHawk playing Maokai, Hamm3rhand playing Wukong, Duelpower bringing out that Yi, and Metalfenrir playing Zombie Brand. I almost said Zombie Rise, but it is Brand. Even though they are zombies, they are still different. Can't group them all up. That's discrimination.
There's so many skins. I feel like Tarek needs another one. I feel like he could use like one of the themed skins because
the Star Guardian Tarek.
Sure.
Perhaps that's
or give him his pool party skin. We see it in the background of that Leona art. We know.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's also the cool thing is that like they've been in a lot of these themed ones. They've been incorporating other champions, even though they're not getting skins, like into the whole theme, so that it really feels like an alternate universe rather than just a costume. That's kind of cool. It's a nice little touch for those who pay attention to detail. And if you don't pay attention to detail, it doesn't like hurt to have it there. So it's all good. Looks like it is going to be, of course, Brand and then Malzahar going. But
well, there's an interesting departure from previous days that I've noticed is I'm not seeing a lot of Boots Prospector item starts.
Ooh.
Like I see Boots Prospectors on Wukong and Boots Prospectors on Brand, but no one else doing it. Now, I understand Maokai going with Catalyst first because there really isn't the Prospector's item for him at all, and Catalyst gets him into items he wants. Fizz, though, with the changes that were made to Needless with Large Rod, among other items, cost reduction, like, I'm just going to go straight into my build and make people unhappy. But that's something that I've just noticed here. See Wicked Hatchet first on Quinn as well. We'll see how that plays out as the game begins here.
Yep, paying attention to the top side, of course, that Tormented Soil, huge. Oh, and a nice little draw on the Spirit of Maokai, bringing him pretty low, and there's a triple knockup from Alistar, but Alva getting very low. 3 exhausts go down at the same time. Alva's somehow still alive. They couldn't find their target amidst the craziness, but Alva does eventually go down. Oh,
ow.
Wow. That was a nice little turnaround by Illaoi. Josh's Legend pulling that out.
Oh, flashes for it. Duelpower wants that Alistar. He is really hungry. Twisted advance in. Master Yi has things under control. Oh dear, that's Morgana.
Yeah, meanwhile, here's Panderz on the right side. They're trying to group up, but it's still a 2v3, and actually Panderz just ditching Alva to be lost. Gotta get that blind on Duelpower. Alva trying to keep the Maokai away. Panderz, the Alpha Strike dodge!
So close. Duelpower with the Alpha striking out from under the damage and killing someone. It's just like I said.
Really nice catch, and then another nice snare onto Alva. That gets him another kill, but Genolicious is low on mana, so can't keep up the fight for too long. But Josh's Legend might die as soon as he has returned to the battle.
Oh dear.
Tentacle's trying to keep them out, but nope.
Tentacle puts out a lot of hurt, especially because it can hit multiple targets. That was an ideal position for it. It just did not have the health to go anywhere with it. Duelpower and Quinn getting into a disagreement over here. Oh no! That wall ruined Quinn's life. What little there was left of it. Top part of the map, Alistar hanging out, messing around with the creep wave, wants to get it pushed up a little bit towards the tower. The creeps do add a lot of capture speed to the point, and can be useful in neutraling a tower that you almost but couldn't quite neutral yourself. And if you plan it right, sometimes that can surprisingly turn the tide of a battle in your favor. Wukong having to do the 1v2 defense here, doing an okay job of it. Might pick off Morgana? No, it looks like it went Alley instead. Oh dear. I feel like the minions were in his way a little bit there.
Yeah, that was a nice turnaround too, just because of the way the clones worked, and StroganMcHawk went a little too deep, does pick up one kill. Khazir's ult is down on Alistar, so they can follow up. Genolicious is here. Josh Flynn gets caught, gets thrown up by Chum the Waters. One more snare. That's another kill. And Amputease just set in the momentum from the start, and then Panderz decides, nope, taking you from behind.
They have the neutral up at the windmill. Quinn had enough damage to kill one, but not both of them, unfortunately. Which is not a situation that they wanted to be in. Windmill is going to get captured. It'll be interesting to see if Strogan decides to stay or leave here with his health being as low as it is. He's going to recall. Both of them are going to recall. There is an opportunity here for Team Bean to get the windmill. We'll see how it goes. Airborne from Alistar. He's staying stuck to Wukong. He didn't buy the lie. He did a bunch of free damage on him. That's an amazing ability, whoever invented that. That was really cool. They're going for the capture now. Duelpower wants to interrupt this. Gets airborne for his troubles. Gets knocked back. Defensive garrison thrown down. Stops the cap. Gives them an opportunity to rally for this defense here. Having to fall back. Illaoi and, oh dear, Alistar going down to the tower damage. Illaoi does not have an escape mechanic. Is going to be taken down.
That was a really well-timed garrison by Hamm3rhand, just making sure that Duelpower survives for a little longer, gets that tower damage in, and then he can go in and finish the fight. Panderz is just all about that backdooring on these points, but can never quite finish the job with Yi running around the Crystal Scar.
WETSHEETS, I feel, is unaware of the fate that may be about to befall him. Nope, he had an idea. He backed off. See how he got down away from that. Moved forward. Oh no, dodged the fish. Doesn't get seared either.
Wow, okay.
WETSHEETS able to get away from that. He knew something was coming.
On the top side of the map, a nice line coming out from Hamm3rhand, and a nice leap of faith by Josh to turn things around. Now it's a 2v1. Needs one more smash from Illaoi. There we go.
Nice
Gets
dunk.
the kill.
Tentacles. That's some of the Illaoi that strikes the fear into the hearts of men and yordles. Yi on his way up to the top. Let's see if Duelpower is able to DPS his way out of this situation.
Oh, nice.
Oh dear. No,
oh,
not
wow.
quite. Sick flash. Goodbye, Josh's legend. He says, hi, Hamm3rhand. Nice to see you, but we're not going to have this conversation right now.
That was a really good play. Getting the Test of Spirit first just to chain into the CC from Alistar, get the kill. Panderz now on the run on the bottom side of the map. Been having some trouble this entire game, and Genolicious is running up with that move speed buff.
Oh no. Urchin Strike lands. Oh, the vault. Nice disengage. Good job, Panderz.
Nice. Well done. Uh-oh. He's coming.
Oh no. It's a worst enemy. Run.
No. I love the quick little meditate just in case. And Duelpower still chasing through, gets that one kill. WETSHEETS can't turn it around. The alpha strikes are too much.
Brutal. Very close to having that go differently. WETSHEETS comes back with the revive, however, is able to chase Brand away. Point is going to stay under their control. And Quinn, oh dear, Quinn. Are we going to see a repeat of what just happened?
I think we might another. Ooh,
no,
okay,
it went differently this time. Panderz and pops the vision to make sure Brand and no one else is going to sneak up on him.
All right. Well, good catch by them. They did lose a lot of health in that one, but they get to keep the point and relieve the pressure since Duelpower and Metalfenrir both went down. Neither of them causing or using revive, and meanwhile McHawk gets taken down. Another tentacle smash and ignite on top of him. They got caught out a little too greedy. Windmill still in possession for Team Beam, by the way.
Hamm3rhand just does not have the health to really make war at the moment. He and Fizz. Fizz also falling back as well. Windmill is going to stay under their control for the time being. Quinn picks up the Storm Shield. Wow, Quinn looks awesome in flight mode with that Storm Shield. And then stands in a bush, so I can't really see it anymore. Thanks, Quinn. Master Yi waiting for his team. This is the smartest thing you can do. Don't try to go 1v4 the point and die. Wait for your team. We see Duelpower exercising his ability to wait for the team. Shows himself once they get close. I was in a position where he can help if needed.
Oh, and the team follows up. A nice Cyclone, even getting Illaoi up with that knock of McHawk. Continue to chase through. They know it's not worth it to fight that Alistar. Nice tentacle smash. This could turn really nasty for them if Josh's Legend can turn it around with a leap of faith. And there it is, more tentacles coming out. It eventually does go down, though. They're not going to be putting out the damage. And now Khazir all alone gets slowed, gets slashed, gets poked, and dies.
Windmill going to turn around in favor of Amputease. Their lead being decreased somewhat with that last series of pushes. WETSHEETS seeming to have rallied a little bit in the bottom, doing better now. Getting more active on Brand's side of the lane. Not vulnerable to a gank because he knows where everyone else was up at the top. We'll see where they go from here. Morgan and Illaoi going out into the lane. When you're out in the lane, you have to keep an eye on the paths below you, which I believe that's why that tentacle is right back there looking over the health relic. And Morgana maybe sticking her wings out a little too far towards the enemy team. It's a lot of damage put on her. Alva gets sent back to front of the platform. Alistar shows up now. Without Morg's damage, the fight is a little lopsided. She is on her way back with a revive, however.
Yeah, she's running back forward. Also, nice dodge by Duelpower initially, but this time he does get head, but it does get pulverized. Hamm3rhand here to try to turn things around. Alva gets stuck by Chum the Waters. Thankfully, dodges the knockup, but not enough to help turn things around just yet. Hamm3rhand trying to come back into this fight, but caught right between two tentacles in the middle of the lane. Alva, you gotta run!
Oh, Alva lived! So close to being another victim to Fizz. Alva had lived. The drill during that fight had gone neutral. I was not quite able to see what had happened there because I was paying attention to the goings on up at the top part of the map. Illaoi sticking her, I'd say sticking her head out, but no, really just sticking her entire body out towards the enemy team to go and pick up that health relic. Is able to do so safely. Oh, Fizz couldn't connect with Quinn like he wanted to. Airborne going down over there.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hamm3rhand does get the jump onto Josh's Legend. Josh's Legend was super low. That shield not going to do much from the Maw as they just burst through that. Khazir getting the interrupts back and forth. Alva's now here. They separate the fight, but it's still 2v4. And where is Quinn going during all of this as their teammates die? Panderz just going to say, all right, I think that was already a lost cause. Going to go for the drill.
The flowchart, I believe, worked differently, where it went, does your team need you top? Yes, gank bottom. Does your team need you top? No, gank bottom. I don't think backcap drill was on the list. However, it did pull a couple of people away from the windmill, which means when his allies get back, the windmill may be under support for whatever it is that they try to do. We'll see shortly if that's what happens or not.
Uh-oh. Goodbye, Panderz. It just doesn't matter if Josh's Legend is there. That is the power of Master Yi. Dodges the tentacle smash. Just needs one more crit. Does get taken down eventually, though. That could have been a sick play. Now
Top
windmill.
twisted advance. Goes in on the windmill. Defensive garrison going there. Exhaust on Mao. Not sure that was the greatest target for that. But nonetheless, it had occurred. And they are able to push people back away from that. Feels as if the garrison having a little bit of a bit to do with it. I said bit twice there. Pretend I said something more eloquent.
And bottom, meanwhile, WETSHEETS does just catch Metalfenrir in the ult. And yeah, when that happens and the Voidlings come forward, that's going to be it. Meanwhile, top side, Amputease just continue to chase through, actually all the way up to the refinery. Does take out Josh's Legend. Khazir has to use his ultimate. Now there's 3 people. If they space this out, they might be able to wait out the ultimate here. Get some damage and maybe even get a neutral on the refinery. And a nice jump back in from Hamm3rhand. Panderz a little too late to the fight. Will just get slashed and hacked away by Master Yi.
And they do not have revives available to them at the moment to quickly push that back. Close fight in the bottom lane. WETSHEETS is able to take down Brand. Brand's going to come back with the revive. Actually, will not be here in time to stop the capture, but WETSHEETS is not in any position to be able to defend that right now. Wants to get in for a little bit of disruption? No, doesn't have the range on it. They get pushed away from the refinery. Amputease falling back from it. Bottom point under their control for the moment. Going to buy them a little bit more time. And buying time, wasting the enemy team's time. Time management is the most important thing in this game. Genolicious low on health. Falling back, staying behind Maokai. Wisely so that Maokai can run interference. 3 people on the top. Goes for Morgana, but the spell shield, the black shield, did so much work to mitigate Fizz's burst. And they are able to get the KB on the Fishman and dive for this point.
Yeah, oh, and a nice knockback over the wall. Khazir trying to make sure they can get this channel, but Metalfenrir is here now. He does have his ult. This could turn pretty sour. There's only 2 people left, though, so Metalfenrir just chasing Alistar away. Josh's Legend is going to port back home. Now taking care of the minions. Amputease trying to make sure they can keep this windmill, and it looks like they will do so now with Hamm3rhand's assistance.
Bottom part of the map, Genolicious had gone down there. WETSHEETS hasn't been able to connect with a silence, which he really wants to do in order to try and be able to kill Fizz here. WETSHEETS has a lot of health, but Fizz can easily make all of that go away. The minions don't get the neutral. They don't get the neutral by the slightest margin down the bottom. WETSHEETS just needs to feed a couple more to it. Quinn's on her way down, sees Fizz, decides to go and engage with him.
And, oh, close one. A lot closer than before, but still not enough. And back at the top, while the Boneyard is still in contention, a nice Cyclone comes in again, combined with the Alpha Strike. They get 1 kill. Oh, and the Alpha Strike follows over the wall with the flash. Nice pulverize. Dual power is pretty low, but 1 more Alpha Strike could be it. There we go. Takes up the kill with the help of Hamm3rhand.
Hid right underneath Alistar's auto attack with that. So close, Illaoi, to being able to pick up that kill on Master Yi, but not quite able to make it. WETSHEETS recalling at a unfortunate time. Strogan is going to get a whole bunch of capture time in on this tower with his Maokai.
Yeah, she looks like we'll be able to finish the neutral. There we oh, just barely, and
Darn.
then flashes in, make sure they can get the snare. WETSHEETS just gonna have to run back home.
Even pops the ult on him, but it's not quite enough. They're gonna have to full recapture that. Oh no, they did get the interrupt on Brand just in time. Panderz is here. Panderz has a lot of damage potential, but Master Yi really likes to staple himself to Panderz.
Yeah, and this tower is neutral, so Master Yi pretty free to jump around. Knows the Malzahar ult is down, but a nice exhaust is going to limit that damage coming out. And WETSHEETS and Panderz will be able to take that point back. And Metalfenrir has to port back home. Got chased quite far out by Khazir, actually.
Top part of the map, Fizz hang out in the lane. This is pretty safe to do for Fizz because Fizz is able to Playful Trickster away from things. So he is far less vulnerable to ganks than other characters are in this game. Quinn scouting around. Quinn, I've noticed, throughout this game, Panderz has been moving around solo for a lot of it. And the few times we've seen Panderz really get into a team fight with his allies, things have gone really well for them. We'll see if that's what the case and what is going to happen here at the windmill. Fizz follows over. Panderz lands the shot on Genolicious. Alistar from the back, but the mix-up.
Oh, that hurt. Hamm3rhand jumps in with the Cyclone. Once again, gets a double knockup. Keeps team being all separated, and quickly this has turned into a 4v1. Amputease takes a fight once again.
That was excellent Wukong ultimate use right there in that fight. Maelstrom also sitting on top of the whole team as it was happening. And Quinn came in from a pretty good position too, but Amputease was able to handle themselves very well there.
Yeah, their positioning of like within the windmill, around the wall, turned out very well. Genolicious not turning around, does miss Jump the Waters, and Genolicious will go down. Jump the Waters actually hits Metalfenrir, so what she's gonna try to turn this around. That stance actually helping out a little bit, but the minions also cornering him in. He'll go down, and oh hey, look at this at the drill. This is a familiar scene. Panderz versus Duelpower. One more. Ooh.
Panderz wins it this time. Master Yi's coming back with the revive. I see Alpha Strike in Panderz's future.
Only 8 points though.
Oh no.
Oh, and that's it. 5 points left on the next.
Dad power, that's so rude. Why would you do that? I hope your son's not watching. Super rude. Top part of the map, however, different story going on. Maokai is doing his best to defend it, but they weren't able to capture it in time.
So it's game over. Amputease takes it 257-0.
Mm-hmm. That Maokai champion defense it there right at the end. And Duelpower coming back with the revive. They weren't able to get either of those 2 neutrals that they needed, and they were able to close out the game.
Yeah, darn shame, but well played by both teams. Amputease, of course. I mean, really utilizing all of their fight. Like, I honestly think their team just in general had a little bit better like team fighting, just because there's so much AOE damage that can be, and along with gap closers, right? Like Alpha Strike is AOE plus, well, technically multi-target. plus gap closer, so Wukong can also jump in and then Cyclone. Same with Maokai, so that helped him out quite a bit. Team being always kind of on their back foot.
I think the thing that look at Quinn. Quinn in that game had a fair item selection, but has maybe a little bit of a flip-flopped KDA from what you might expect to see on ADC. And it could have gone different. There were a couple of good times where Quinn got in there and really was able to mix it up. But Quinn in a 1v1 situation, while late game, did start to be able to pick up kills against Master Yi. Both Fizz and Master Yi really had Quinn's number that whole game. And even when Quinn was in team fights, both of them, Urchin Strike and Alpha Strike, would just carry them straight through. And that was a difficult comp to use Quinn in. And Amputease responded to their choice of ADC just very effectively. It was, that's such a rough game for Panderz. I saw a lot of good engages, but Amputease just, they locked on and they went for it.
Yeah, they had Quinn's number. And Duelpower finishing 22-8-6. Definitely part of a lot of those catches, a lot of those team fights, finishing people off with Alpha Strikes and taunting them right out of death. So well played by Amputease. They move on. It is best of ones until the final.
Yes. And I believe we have, let's count how many rounds we have left in this. Before then, or my bracket crashed while I was looking away. But yeah, I believe we have round of 8, round of 4 finals. So we've got 4 more games at least tonight.
All right.
To go here. So we have a little bit of a while left with you folks this evening. I hope everybody is excited to see the way things play out. And we will get this next game put together for you folks. We'll assemble it bit by bit and bring it to you in just a few moments.